say all those things are great, but the three greatest things that I have are sitting to my right over here is my wife Shelley, who would be your Mrs. Randolph-Macon, I don't know. And for those who haven't said something to me tonight, for those who have, I appreciate it. My two daughters were named academic all-district All-American. No more jokes about who their father is. So my role today is to step in for the president, which is not something I can easily do. This event, President Liggard, is one of the best events that he has for the year. It's something that he values because he understands that when you do something right, and that's what he's trying to do at Randolph-Macon, that's what this basketball team, and that's what those of you who came before try to do. So he's got an event for the college tonight. It's Steve Forbes and Moira Forbes speaking on campus, so he wanted me to make sure that you knew that this is something he would want to be at, and I'm sure you'll see him in the basketball games. There's another person that I'd like to recognize. Matt, you did a great job running through it. There's a couple others I would like to say shout out to, and one of them started Randolph-Macon when I came in 1983. He's been there in his 36th year. He's actually my direct report. He's the provost of the college. Phil Franz, where are you, sir? Phil? If the president were here, you'd be talking about how many great things are going on in college, and this group here should know. I'm sure you follow it. Bill may not get the recognition, but from an athletic standpoint, to have a direct report who believes in the mission of what you're doing from an athletic standpoint, we're going to miss you. I'm personally going to miss you, and we appreciate everything you've done over those 36 years, Bill. Thank you very much. These American people do not like to be recognized, but they are Hall of Famers, and I'd like to shout out to Mr. Jack Luck. Jack, to my left. One of our newest inductees, inducted just a couple weeks ago, Mr. Parker Diller. Parker. One of the traditions we have here is honoring our managers, believing that the managers are an incredibly important part of what we've done in this program. And I think it's incredible right now that we have 9 managers in this room, and I want to recognize and have them stand up and be recognized. Representing his brother, Jay Pace. Steve Pace, where are you? Mark Irrigation, we're talking about you, Mark. Would you please stand? Gary Campbell from Maryland. Marty Wilson. Marty, where are you, sir? Michael Preston. Michael, where are you? John Bumgarner. John, where are you? Louis Douglas. We've got 2 current managers that are with us, and I'd like to have a big round of applause for them because we all know how hard they work. We've got Steve Roberts. Next to Steve, Don Chalmers. So we talked a little bit about what's going on at Randolph-Macon. You guys are well aware of the nursing program. You're well aware of some of the new buildings. Athletics has been real fortunate. The college has approved us to do a couple things. One of them, we on the west side of the tracks. Although my daughters will graduate and never get to play on the new field, we'll have a new turf field on the west side, which is really going to do a lot for those programs over there. But the one thing I'm really excited to tell you about is we just got approval for a full renovation of the men's basketball locker room. So we're in the process of trying to figure out exactly what that's going to look like. I can promise you that each of you in this room will have an intimate detail of what's going on with that, and we look forward to your support. So listen, I appreciate it from the president, from Bill, from myself. Thank you for being here. This is the biggest event that we've had as far as numbers, and it doesn't happen without you, so thank you very much for being here.
Thanks, Coach. do something a little bit different right before dinner. And I say we, because Freddie told me I can say anything I want to say. This year we're going to recognize a team of distinction, and that's the 1998-99 team. I'm not going to go through all the names of the players. You're welcome. But I am going to recognize who's here tonight in just a minute. A couple stats about the team. This was Coach Nunley's 24th and final team. We made it to the championship, but we lost a hit in Sydney. We did have the #1 ranked defense. Held teams to just 61 points. We made it to the second round of the NCAA tournament, where we also lost to Sydney. Thus, why I'm playing in this crazy alumni game at Hinton, Sydney. And on the bench with Coach Nunley was Sean McAloon and Coach Rhodes, as well as John Bumgardner. Some of the interesting things you won't find on a stat sheet. We kept up what I call the Emory and Henry magic. The year before, Kurt Axe, who Sean's going to talk about, had gone for 47 against Emory and Henry, 47 points. The same game the following year, but it was at Emory and Henry, Joey Golden, who still holds the record, the NCAA record of all divisions, went 11 for 11 from the three-point line. And then a year later, Sean McAloon, the same Emory and Henry game, but at home this time, went for 38, 7 of 8 from the three-point line. So that was special about this team. But I think there's some other things that make this team distinct. So I'm just going to go through what I'm calling this year the RMC Award. An RMC does not stand for Randolph-Macon in this case. It stands for Recognition from the MC, Master of Ceremonies. So I gotta give a little shout out. Plus, I want you guys to see who these people are, because let me tell you, Dave, Mark, these guys make a lot of money, so we're gonna have to hit them up. The first award is called the FITW Impact Award. This is called the Fart in the Wind Impact Award. So look, every team has a player who's just like ice, right? Steady, dependable, nothing bothers them. They're focused, determined. So when Coach Nunley told this player, "You're having about as much impact on this game as a fart in the wind," it wasn't surprising that it didn't bother him. Just rolled right off his shoulders, and guess what? Turned around and hit the game winner against Hampton Sydney College. Josh Soper. All right, this next one is called the Give Until It Hurts Award. I don't remember much about that first dinner, Eddie, but I do remember Coach Nunley saying that as alumni, we need to give until it hurts. We do it as players, and we also have to do it as alumni. So as I started thinking about it, there were two guys who really gave a lot to me. In fact, they gave me so many passes. They hated the fact that Coach Nunley and Coach Rose taught me how to pump fake. That's one thing I did not do in Germany. And these guys constantly tell me that had I not pump faked and ended up on the foul line, they would be the Paul Jez of Randolph-Macon. So what I made for them is a little picture frame with Paul on the left and me in the middle, because I was the only thing keeping Sean McAloon and JT Talley off the record books. Sean and JT.
Stealing our speech.
All right, the third is called the Go Wild Award. You guys remember Coach Nunley, when he would get excited, he wouldn't be very intimate, but he would say, "Go wild, man. Go wild, Dave." And this guy, let me tell you, there was a practice where he lit it up. He lit it up to the point where I've never seen Coach Nunley so animated. How many times he said, "Go wild." He made so many three-pointers, which is perfect because this guy is as slow as rigor mortis. We nicknamed him Zone Buster. So the Go Wild Award goes to James Urban. Only a couple more. This next one is, you guys have heard the term, you play like you practice. You guys remember that? I think this is probably Coach Webb. You probably started this. Coach Nunley just listened to everything you said. But Coach Nunley, he put it on everything. Yip lip Matt, yip lip Sean, yip lip. And we were like, what does that mean? Well, it was the acronym, YPLYP, you play like you practice. So this is called the You Play Like You Practice Best Practice Player Award. So this guy, you know, he was probably our very best practice player. He would have no trouble beating you up in pickup games, throwing you on the ground, talking trash. And we were like, dude, where is this in the games? So I found one of the articles where he actually made it into a game, and it was true. He played like he practiced, and he tore it up. The You Play Like You Practice Best Practice Player Award goes to Dan Kraft. Very few people have done more than Dan. You know, you look at alumni and how long they've been given. I think Dan's one of the few people in 19 years out who's been given for all 19 years. So thanks, Dan. This next one is what I call the Feel the Burn Award. This is a little action figure of Bernie Sanders. There was a game in Guilford, and the guy who Coach Nunley was talking about is not here tonight, but he was on this team, Mike LaGuardia. And basically at halftime, Coach Nunley said, Mike, if this guy wanted to take you to half court and have his weight with you, I'll just say that. You'd oblige. And the funny thing is that I thought, oh, we've actually got a guy like that on our team. This guy would set the best screens. I actually did not look forward to practice because of this guy. I never told him that, so I'm telling him tonight. I don't know where he is. Oh, there he is. Man, he pushed me more than he knows. And I remember when he left the team, I thought, oh God, thank God, I don't have to go up against him in practice anymore. And then what I love so much about this guy is he came all the way back. He came all the way back and made that team again, and he delivered. So the Feel the Burn Award goes to Burn Huddleston. This next one is called the Never, Ever, Ever Give Up and Push Through Award. So, a little public service announcement. I work for Pfizer now. We got a product. It's called Cologuard. Basically, you don't have to get a colonoscopy. You basically, you can just go in a box, right? You send it away. They test you for 11 biomarkers, and if it's positive, then you go get a colonoscopy. All right. So now that you know that background, this guy put up with more of our crap than anybody. He also never ever gave up. He walked on the team. He became the team manager. Became one of the coaches that Coach Rhodes Coach Nunley depended on. And he is now a coach himself. So the Never Ever Ever Give Up Award goes to the man, John Bummy Bumgardner. So this next to last one is the Practice Makes Perfect Award. This guy was in the gym. He was the first one there, the last one to leave. First one there, last one to leave. And this started way back on his recruiting visits. We had him, I think Dan and I had him over to stay with us. And we said, we can leave the gym and we're going to go to this party. Do you want to go with us? He's like, no, man, I'm just going to grab some dinner and go shoot. Again. Like, wow, man, this guy he's got it serious. And he got us to raise our level of play. So the other thing I want to say about this guy is that he really is one of the nicest, perfect people I've ever met. No one's perfect, but this guy is the kind of person you want to introduce your family to. So the Practice Makes Perfect Award goes to Doug Spike Cunningham. I gave him that small ball because he's now a professional spike ball player. Just kidding. And the last one goes, is called the Pit Mob Award. You guys remember the term pit mob? Preparation is the mother of all victory. So this award is actually it's a preparation is the mother of all victory preparation kit. So this can only go to one person. This person prepared us to go from what was Coach Webb and then Coach Nunley into the next generation. He was driven, committed, had all the credentials, Player of the Year, MVP, National Championship. So it wasn't surprising that he prepared the team to do what they did after the Coach Nunley era. So the preparation is the Mother of All Victory Award goes to Coach Mike Rhodes. And it comes with Preparation 8. He's getting a little bit older now, so Centrum Silver. A picture of Hal. And of course, what I love about Coach Rhodes is he always thinks about his family. 197 wins, 3-time Coach of the Year, top 15 winning percentage before he left, #1, and also a little motivation. Just in case you forgot. Let's eat. Enjoy your dinner.
That's out of love for me. I may move around a little bit. I'm more of a mover, so I may walk away and get louder as it gets with it. But it's funny, I landed today at 2 o'clock and Matt was preparing like crazy, and I was just kind of sitting there having a conversation with everybody. It felt like college, and he was going to the library and I was going to the parties. When Josh asked me to speak, I was humbled, but at the same time, in the middle of our season, and it's a high-pressure gig, and it's something that I've always wanted, and I was, the family, the this, the that, and so forth and so on. And I called a couple people, and Matt was one of them, and said, you should do it. Paul was one of them that said you should do it. Mike was one of them. And it's time I got my head out of my butt and kind of gave back and explained what this place really means to me. I didn't know Matt was going to be here crushing it. It's kind of like our careers, you just can't let me have it. It's like one night where I can get up here and I can express how much this place means to me, and Matt's up here, acting like it's late night at Apollo. As he's been crushing every single person that's in here, he's already done the pump fake thing, so JT and I both recognize that Coach always told us that you can't hold Paul Jez's jack. And so we know we can't be where you are, Paul, but we should be on the list. Now, if Matt hasn't explained, Matt's like top 3 in free throw attempts, which means every time, and Matt could be butt naked, wide open in the block, and he would pump fake. I swear to God, we would be standing in midcourt. Here's the thing, we all ran motion, right? Coach ran motion, Coach Melanie ran motion, Mike ran motion. We all ran motion, which means you had good passers. None of us are on that list. Not one of us is on that list. So I'm going to take that award. And that's going in lieu where one of my kids is. Because that's right there. That meant a lot to all of us. We'd be at midcourt and be like, you pump faked again? Matt is so literal. Here's the couple things. Matt is the hardest worker in the world. There's no question about it. But he's so literal. He had to pump fake. So those of us that are in here, we know the 7 rules of defense, right? If you remember them, right? It was like honor the ball line, jump to the ball, never meet you, pass away. Don't get split, force baseline, clean up the baseline, rebound. So Coach gave us these rules one day, clean up the baseline and rebound. He says, tomorrow, we revisit them tomorrow. So I walk in the next day, and Matt this is Scout's honor, right? Scout's honor. This is the truth. Matt is at the other end of the baseline when you walk in the gym, and all of us know that, right? The girls' locker room was down there at the time. And he has a bucket that he must have gotten from Mr. Flowers, God rest his soul. And he's cleaning the baseline. I come to the other end, and I said, what are you doing? He goes, dude, I gotta clean the baseline. Coach said we gotta clean the baseline. I'm not running today. He's come a long way, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give him a round. I could not be more honored to be here, to be with Matt. We are the 2 most unlikely kids to be in this room. And that's the truth. Not because, players, but we grew up outside of here. I'm here from Germany, he's here from Germany. There's no shot for us to be here. For 2 of us to be in the same room. And for him to make the impact he made, we're brothers now. It's crazy, right? We married sisters, and we're legally family. It's legal. It's not like we're brothers, but we're actually brothers. So to have the opportunity to be here and share the stage with him is amazing. So when I sat down and thought about what I want to talk about, I want to talk about kind of the connections of the room, the importance of the room, and what it means to be a Macon man, essentially. And I can connect myself first, and I'd like to talk about some of the icons of the program and how we should go forward. And at the same time, for you young men that are in this room that are getting a chance to bask in this greatness, because really what this room is greatness. There are multiple people in here that are extremely successful men because of what we've learned, right? From Coach Webb or Coach Nolan or Coach Rose or Coach Davis or now Coach Merkel. You're not in this room if you're not special. Right, and you have to believe that, and you have to take that moving forward, because if you weren't special, you'd be in Sydney. So, for me, I'm not here without Greg Martin. Many people know Greg, and Greg is tough, there's no question about it. But I'm not in this room without him. My grandparents were in Charleston, South Carolina, and I lived in Europe, as Matt already alluded to or talked about earlier. And my father asked him, my parents are here tonight, they actually surprised me. My father asked Greg to evaluate me, and as a college coach, really camp is brutal. So anyone in here that's coached camp, it blows. I mean, it's really what it comes down to. It's not awesome. It's a hot gym. You got to listen to kids talking about, it's a foul. Yeah. So my dad asked him to evaluate me. He wanted to know how good I was. And he took time out of his week to ref every single game. Every game. That's unheard of. It's highly unheard of, right? It's generally the players work it, right? You guys all know. Hey, get out there and ref. Coach wants to sit on his butt for a minute. Let me relax. You ref my game. You ref my game. So he refed all my games. And he said, look, you could be a good Division II player, which is a lie. But you'd be a star in Division III, which is a lie. But he pointed me to Macon. And from there, that's my first connection. My second is that I was a 4-year player. I was lucky enough to be a 2-year captain. I volunteered. If you really want to be in it, you volunteer. It's like it's why the Army is as good as they are, right? It's why the military is who they are. I volunteered. I lived in ATS. For many of those that remember that, don't live there. Right? You have bugs the size of crocodiles that I have in Florida. But I wanted to be a part of it. I wanted to be a part of it terribly, and I had a great learning laboratory with Mike. Mike will remember, my desk was, Coach walked in one day, and I'll never forget it. Mike had a desk. There was another desk in there for Coach Keller, right? It was Coach Keller, Mike, and then I had a chair, and he brought me in one of those things that you can write on your with a pad. So it was a pad, like a soft pad, and that was where I wrote. I sat in my midget chair next to Mike, and I took it all in. That's how bad I wanted to be a part of Macon. Mike hired me. We were the youngest staff in America at the time. The youngest staff in America, and we killed it. We got to the point where a lot of the guys in this room were number 1 in the country. We did have at one point the winningest class in the country. You guys crushed it. Finished from there. Mike got me my next job at Bucknow. Got me in the door at Bucknow. Mike got me in the door. In fact, I know Mike a lot.
I'll let you know later.
He's going to be a player, but he's not going to get it. So Mike got me in the door at Benedictine, and I don't get that job. Actually, my former headmaster is here. Where's John McGinney? There he's right there. I was 28 years old and he hired me, my first job. And he did it strictly on Mike and Rito Brown. And here's the thing. Coach was big on talking about the players that were there before, and I knew Reed from when I was an assistant, but I really didn't know Reed. Like I knew it was Reed's a good shooter, play hard. Like that's it. Like all of us. Snow couldn't got a chair. I knew that. Oh, it's for you, Dad. So I knew that. But the crazy thing is, he was on the board. He got me in the door, and then I couldn't move at the time, and he just opened up his house, and I lived with his family for 4 months. And I was a slob. Maybe 6. Right? Well, actually, it was 4. It just felt like 6 for you. But he opened up his door, and that's what this place is all about, right? So from there, I got my next job at St. John's, thanks to Mike. I got all my big brothers. I had a sister, Nathan, Kurt Axe, Jared Hayes, Tom Lewis, Nat Draper. Nat, I'll get to him later. Broke my finger freshman year, Nat Draper. But he's been one of my best friends since, amazingly. My golf trip is in this room. We like to call it a golf trip. We stink, but we have a great time coming together and talking about the stories about what Randolph-Macon's all about. Let's get to the important stuff. I met my wife through Randolph-Macon, through Matt. I like to do vice versa. I brought Matt to Macon, so he met his wife, and then I met mine through him, but we'll give it to Matt for the night, all right? Because, it is Matt. So, my engagement ring, I'm not going to mention the man in the room. He knows who he is. But I was looking to get engaged, and somebody pointed me in the right direction. So for those of you guys that are engaged, or those of you that are not engaged, for those of you that are not, this is a monster purchase. Like, this is the purchase. Okay, so I'm telling you this is advice. This is making advice, man to man. Because here's what happens. How do you do it? Let me see that. Oh, wow. And there's 2 things you say after that. That's beautiful, or you'll upgrade in 5 years. There's no upgrade in our house. We're going on 10 years. That thing's not moved. And every time I look at it, I think to myself, God, I'm so lucky to have gone to Macon. I'm not going to embarrass the gentleman who knows who he is, and I'm extremely appreciative. What I just expressed to you is a full life. That's a full life right there, right? On top of that, you have to talk about the ideals that you learned to get you through your full life, right? So I'm going to talk about some of the icons of the program. I'll probably get emotional because it's important to me because this is my life, right? So the first person I'll mention is Coach Webb. Coach Webb is over there. If everyone doesn't know, Coach Webb, raise your hand. I'm going to talk about what it means to be Macon and what you learned while you were here and what you are learning now under Coach Merkel. Because again, if you were in the room, you'd be at Cinchburg. Which is Coach from Lynchburg. Okay? So, Coach Webb, I didn't play for you, but I tell you what, I feel like I did, because Coach not only spoke in reverence every single day when he mentioned you. And here's the thing, Coach Webb gave him a chance. That's why as we honor managers in this room, like I see Mike Preston, like anything I needed, water, whatever it may be, Coach gave him a chance. He was a statistician, right? He let him do stats. Right? And from there, continue to come back and continue to get better. So Coach talked every single day about what he learned, right? And I didn't fully get it until I got into coaching. Like, I didn't get it. I didn't know how great Coach Webb really was until I finished, but I also didn't know until I started coaching. Because here's the thing that I always felt, when we always went to Virginia Beach, or if we played like at CNU, Coach got tight. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, he got tight. Like, if Mike comes in my gym, I get tight. Because I want to prove, not that I'm better, but that I'm good enough. So when we went to Wesleyan, I always felt like, what's wrong with Coach? He was always so calm. I mean, for 4 years, he sat down and coached us. Never said a word. All of a sudden, he's up, pacing around. And it's because he wanted Coach to know that he was following those steps. And I understand that now because I was at Benedictine, where they stamped on the court 949 for Warren Rutledge. Right, clown shoes type follow. Joe Gallagher at St. John's, clown shoes type follow. Coach was following clown shoes. You can't walk in clown shoes. No one can. Right? That's why they're clowns. Okay, so but it's not easy to do, and you can feel that presence. So you know what I learned? I learned respect. I learned respect for those that came before you. And every time he spoke about just what he learned and how we were moving it forward. And I don't think we do a good enough job. I've been here multiple times, and I've been away for a couple of years just based on the family thing and thinking that my stuff was more important, and it's really not. But as Matt said, there's only 50 number ones in the country, and we get to rub elbows once a year with Coach Webb. That's in our room. That's not in Sydney's room. That's not in Roanoke's room. That's in our room. And he started it from here. Now, this dinner didn't start with Coach, but the basis is that we would bring everybody around and we would all be together to appreciate our greatness, because that's what we are. So, Coach, I appreciate what I learned from you, even though I didn't play for you. So, a round of applause for Coach. Yeah. For you young men that are in here right now, all right, you young men that every day get an opportunity to walk in that locker room as if I still wish I could. Don't get me wrong, I would love to be there. I stink, but I would love to walk in the locker room every single day. You have 2 plaques that are on the outside of the locker room, and I want to make sure that you understand what they mean to everyone that's in this room, okay? They're important. And they weren't just put there because they passed. They put there because they laid a foundation for what we use every single day. So I played for Coach Numley, okay? Like Matt, my story's the same. I never met Coach until I showed up. I met him at the salad bar of Kane. His first words that he ever said to me, "Sean, how Numley. Let's see if you can play." He walked away. You could not have made a diamond out of that. I was tight. And he walked away. I'm like, that's my intro to my coach? What did I do? Think about that. Coach Census deserves a lot of credit, man. I showed up outside on stage. He told me I could follow a star and I'd be really good by my junior year. I said, that's good enough for me. So what I learned from Coach, there's multiple things. I mean, a lot of stuff I can't say, it's R-rated, and I'm not going to get into that. I learned preparation. Matt said pit mob, it's the truth. I've never met anyone more prepared I mean, Josh put these out on your tables. I don't know if you got a chance to look at these game day thoughts by how none. I'm sure he took 90% of it from Coach, like I take everything from Mike. I thought one thing was funny though, and I have to point this out for all the players in the room, and I have it because I prepared for a second like Matt. I wanted to be like Matt. I know what it was. After the game, win or lose, keep it short. Get out of here. Keep it short. Win, shoulder to shoulder, knee to knee. Lose, 20 minutes minimum. 40 max. Shower, get out. No food, no good food on the way. We weren't stopping anywhere nice. I saw that and I said, you old man, that's not you, bro. I tell you what I learned preparation. I learned preparation every single day. And here's the best way I can describe it. This is no joke. This is no joke. I played 4 years for Coach. Coach never stood up. I can count under 10 fingers how many times he wore athletic clothes to practice. That's impossible. And I watched game from us. We weren't good, but we were good because he prepared us that way. 40 series, which was motion. 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. You have to have more plays than they can scout. 1, 3, 5, 7. This is crazy, I remember this. 1, 3, 5, 7, right? Baseline out of bounds for man. Run if you change it. 2, 4, and 6 for zone. ZPO, Z. Like, I have this ingrained in my head now. I'm 42. I'm 42 years old, and I can run Z right now. Right now. I go to the screen, I go long, and they never throw it to me. Never. We were prepared. But here's the other thing. I was prepared as a man. I'll never forget certain things, right? I'm sitting in the room right now, and I eat, I go to weddings, I never take my coat off. I never take my coat off. It could be 90 degrees. And you know what's emblazoned in my mind? A gentleman never removes his coat. Ever. I'm not from the South. I didn't understand it. I kept it on for fear. But now I feel cool. Because everyone else is removing their coats. I'm like, what's up? I learned from the best. I'm prepared every day. I'm prepared every day to be a good father because he was a good father to us. I learned family. Now, Coach didn't have one except for in this room. And all we got was stories on stories on stories. It's unbelievable. Jesse Hellier, one of the best employees. Troy, one of the believer. Paul, best passer. Kevin, best shooter. Johnny Boy, top turd. That was when he was telling us about grades. I wish Charlie was here because I have to tell you this. He retired me from coming back to the alumni game because he plays so hard. Like, it's glorified, Charlie. Come on, man. I had to stop playing. But what he was doing was he was passing down the players that played before you, right? And how you can tie yourself together so if you get a job at Benedictine, you can stay at his house because you became family that way. We weren't saying really Jacket's family until Mike started that. But before that, it was Coach's own way to put us in a room and explain it. And that was the brainchild of this room. That was the brainchild of it. That's what started it. That's why I became Jacket's family. I learned that from Coach. I learned love. Crazily I learned love. Tough love. All right, but I'm going to tell a story about Coach that not many people know. Coach was close to me. He was close to a lot of people in the room. I'm going to get emotional for a second. But we lost our last game my senior year. Coach did not coach us. Mike coached us. I don't remember if Mike drove. I think he did, but I'm not sure. Coach rode the passenger seat. And this is a weird way to put it, but he did tell us he loved us at times, and there's no question about it, but he gave us a 6-pack of beer. It's weird. It was myself and Chris Carlson, who was over there on the picture. He's at San Diego, and that was my roommate. And we didn't say a word for 2 hours. And we sat there and we each had 3 beers. And we wanted more. Because it hurt. But I'll never forget it. He said, I can never repay you for what you've done for the program. And I was floored. Because I said, repay you? Like, I'm a man now. I'm a man based on what you've done. And I take that every day with my kids. And I do it now with my players. I'm never afraid to say I love them. Ever. Now, I think that's a trait in this room. Every time we see each other, I've seen 10 guys, and I see these guys right here. And we see each other first, yeah, I love you! But it's so real, and we learned it. We learned it every day in the room. We learned it every day everywhere we went. And nobody else has that. I'm convinced. I've been a lot of places. I've seen a lot of special places. I've been at Benedictine, I've been at St. John's, and there's no one connected like this. Nobody. But now it's passed down to your next plaque, which was Kurt Axe, and I played with Kurt. And everyone's going to talk about the best player, this, that, and the third, and Kurt was really good, but I'll tell you what it was. He was the toughest kid I've ever seen in my life. In my life. 5'7", bucket getter. Mean. One of the coolest people I ever met. Huge big brother to me. I learned toughness from him. Every day. He never backed down from coach. Ever. He stuck to his convictions. He lived it to the fullest. I'm tougher every day. My dad told me one day, I said, man, Dad, I'm struggling in practice. He said, find the toughest player on the team and run next to him every day. So I went from the middle of the court, and Matt can attest to this, to the end line. And I ran next to Kurt every day for the rest of my career. And I got better because of it. I learned that as a leader, you could never be better than everybody else. Kurt would go hang. I mean, when Dan were freshmen and Matt were freshmen, and I lived in the dorm with Kurt, he'd be like, I'm going down to Matt's room. What? Matt's room? I'm a freshman. You're Kurt Axe. What are you doing? He did it. He invited everybody everywhere. He went everywhere. He was a man of the campus. Right? He was the best player in our team, and he never acted like it. He acted like he was the worst. And he took care of every single person the exact same way. I do that now with my team because of him. You treat the end of the bench just like the front of the bench. I would never learn that without playing with him. The last thing I learned from Kurt, and this is going to be true for every single person in this room, is a term I like to use, and I've used it in terms of from the military. It's called embrace the suck. Our practices sucked. Everybody in here knows that. Everyone that played for coach understands what it was like to be in practice. And he did it because he made practice harder than the games, but God bless. Every single day, 20 minutes of pre-practice. Every single day, ball handling. I don't run weave at all. I would never run weave. You know what else I don't run? 3-on-2, 2-on-1. Ever. I don't run 8s. I don't do 17s. I can't even have it come out of my mouth. It was awful. I remember a 4-hour practice at Thanksgiving once where me and Kenny Kravitz cramped the entire ride home. 4 hours of sprints. But you know who was always smiling every time? We got it. Kurt. Every time we went out to go do the Sunday mile, which was brutal. 8 times around, 10 times around, 12 times around. Here comes Kurt smiling and laughing and hitting you on the butt. Pick it up, Junior. As he's running like a 5-minute mile, like he's Ethiopian. Doing dips with a smile. Everything he did was with a smile. He loved it. I wake up every day. And there's times when you go home and you don't want to do something, right? There's times when now, I take it away. I just think to myself, what would Kurt do? I come home from a long day and my kids are excited to see me and I'm beat. And I walk in, I just embrace the suck. I'm like, what's up? Because I learned that from him. These ideals, I know this. These ideals were passed down to Mike, from Coach first, to Coach Nunley, to Mike. And I say Coach Rose, but I know Mike like that. To Mike, to Nathan, and now Coach Merkel. For you young guys that are in this room, understand that's the standard. That's who we are. We should embrace that at all times. You younger guys that just graduated, 5 years, 3 years, 4 years, 2 years, you need to tell your friends that aren't here that we need to start coming back to be here. Because what needs to happen is this. The young men that are in this room, they have to feel that love. They have to feel that preparation. And that's the only way, because I'm a firm believer that if you are to, and again, we want to win, but we're talking about making men, right? Making men, winning as players. The only way we're going to win in both ways is if we are consistent with our effort. And it's not just from Reed's group or Dave's group that's been carrying the heavy loads, from our group. I'm so appreciative that Josh offered me the opportunity to come and talk about what we learned while here. And I guarantee you're learning the same thing right now as players. I guarantee it. I know it. I know it. Because I was there when he was there. I was working camp when he was there. I know what he stands for. I know where you're going. So I'm going to close with this. Don't forget who we are. Embrace who we are. You young men that are in here right now, you carry the torch. We will all be there for you. We will consistently be there for you. Like Reed was there for me, or like how other people have been there for me at any time that I was down, or how people have picked you up in this room. You can call a Macon man and they will make it work for you. I believe that. I'm going to leave with some coach speak, because I am a coach right now. I saw that the poll just came out the other day, and we're second. If you're a player in here and you're getting ready to play tomorrow, Immaculata?
Yes, sir.
Immaculata. If you're a player in here and you're not pissed off for seeing that, you don't belong in this room. We return everybody. We were the #1 team last year. I'm pissed. So what do we do about it? Here's how you do it. And I believe this because we have short attention spans as young men. And men, I have a short attention span. You have to attack everything every day in order to win a championship. Here's what I know. There is a date that holds itself true, and I'm going to put it on a bar. It was the ODAC championship. No, March 15th. March 15th, Fort Wayne, Indiana. That's when the national championship is being played. There is enough goods in this room to do that. You have enough support in this room to do that. You should never speak of it again. That's your mission. In order to accomplish that mission, every single day, you have to be great at everything. So if you came to this dinner, I'm going to tell you this right now. If you came to this dinner and you said to yourself, I got to dress up, I got to listen to stories, I'm not feeling it, I'd rather be on campus, you failed. You failed. But if you came here excited to rub elbows with greatness, right, with greatness, if you came here pumped to do that, you won your day. If you go home tonight, you get sleep, you won your night. If you wake up in the morning, you skip breakfast, you failed. You get breakfast. You get on that bus and you talk about that trip. You talk about dominating that trip. And then when Immaculata shows up, you smack them. You move them. That's session 1. Then you go to bed that night. And everything you do, you go to class, you sit up front, you pay attention, you become educated. That's part of you becoming a Macon man. You do those things every single day. They can attest to it. You do those things every single day. You buy into what's been laid before you. You will do that. March 15th. The only way I can say this to you is this. They're not hearing you. Now this is coach speak for where I am right now, so they understand. These guys right now, they understand in the room. These young boys understand in the room. They're not hearing you. So there's only one way to make them hear you. One way. Finish them, sing about them. Shoulder to shoulder, knee to knee, yellow jacket victory. Every single time. I appreciate you. Thank you. I would just need Sean to come back before the alumni game for that same speech.
Let's meet the team.
Yeah.
Freshmen, Coach Nutley would have said seniors. He's all about seniority, but we're going to start with the freshmen tonight. Come on up, guys.
Hi, I'm Ian Robertson. I wear number 31. My major, I'm undecided so far. I'm from Lewis, Delaware, and I bring good shooting and a good personality to this team.
Hey everyone, I'm James Moore. I weigh number 44. I'm from Bradenton, Virginia. Fun fact about me, I speak 5 languages.
Wow.
And what I bring to this team, I bring diversity and I grow it down.
Hey everybody, my name is Daquan Morris. I wear number 3. I'm from Philadelphia, PA. Fun fact, I don't speak 5 languages. I collect sneakers. And one thing I bring to the team is a will to win.
My name is Dawood Abaza, but they call me Woo. I wear number 22. My major is nursing. I have a little brother, he's 5 years old, and I bring positivity and competitiveness to the team.
Sophomores.
I am David Funderburg. I wear 24. I'm a biology major. Fun fact, I've only had my hair for about 1.5 years now. And I will bring lethal screens for our squad.
Hey everybody, I'm Max Morrow. I'm a business major, we're number 11. And a fun fact about me, I was gonna say I love video games, but Daryl told me not to say that. So I'm gonna say I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina, born and raised. And one thing I bring to this team is athleticism, because I'm very athletic.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Buzz Anthony. Proudly wear number 5. From Arnold, Maryland, right about 5 minutes from the Naval Academy. My major is math. I want to go into teaching and coaching in the future. Fun fact about me, I'm a surfer, avid surfer. And something I bring to the team, a sense of leadership and a chip on the shoulder mentality.
Hello everyone. I'm Terry Woods. I wear number 12. I major in accounting. Fun fact about me, I'm fascinated with arts, and what I bring to the team is craftiness.
All right.
Juniors.
Hello everybody, my name is Corey Turner. I wear number 1. I'm from Midlothian, Virginia. I'm a major in business finance, and one thing that I bring to the team is maturity and leadership. And what was that? for me is I lived in Brussels, Belgium for 3 years.
How's it going? I'm Ken Kilgrove. I wear number 20. I'm a communications major. And fun fact is I'm from St. Petersburg, Florida, a long way away. And one thing I believe I bring to the team is defense.
Yeah.
How we doing? I'm Corey Bass. I wear number 2. I'm from Bel Air, Maryland. And the one thing I bring to the team is shooting, because that's all Coach Merle tells me to do. Thank you.
Seniors, and we're actually gonna have them after they introduce themselves, if they can stay up here, we're gonna do some little Q&A, rapid fire.
Good evening, I'm John Noel. I wear number 21. I'm a business major with a focus in management. Fun fact about me, I consider myself somewhat of a hip-hop historian. I love hip-hop. And I bring leadership and athleticism to the team.
My name is Luke Neely. I wear number 15. I'm a computer science major. One fun fact about me is I love the outdoors. I love to go kayaking and fishing and hiking, all that stuff. And two things I bring to this team are high energy and a good three-point shot.
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Grayson Abdullah, and I'm from Glen Allen, Virginia. I wear number 30, so Fletch. Yes, sir, Fletch. A fun fact about me, I wear the largest shoe on the team. What I bring to this team, I bring a couple things. Consistency, night in and night out, and just playmaking and competitiveness as well.
My name is Montes Adams. I wear number 4, Paul, assist leader. I don't pass the ball as much as you, but one fun fact about me, I'm really good at pool, so if anybody wants to play. And one thing I bring to the team, I believe I bring truth to the team. So, yeah.
Good evening. My name is Daryl Williams. I'm number 10. I'm from Ellicott City, Maryland. I'm a double major in political science and religious studies. One fun fact about me, I was in 6 different countries this summer, and I bring versatility to the team.
Yeah.
All right, fellas. By the way, Kurt Axe was number 4. No pressure, tease. All right, so real talk for a minute. So one of my favorite motivational speakers, David Goggins, Eric Thomas, like Sean said, they talk about pain. At the end of pain is success. So obviously last year didn't finish how you wanted. How do you bounce back? How do you dig deep? And what can we expect?
I think I can speak for the whole team on this one. After EMU, everybody was shocked, and I'm still shocked to this day. I still have not gotten over it. This whole summer, that was the fuel to the fire, and I think everybody on the team really worked hard. That's returning, and we're ready for them this year.
So I'd like to hear from everybody on this one. Who are you guys going to dedicate this season to, and why?
Personally, I want to dedicate this season to my mom and my 2 youngest brothers, because lately my mom's been going through a lot, so I've been going through a lot. My brother's been going through a lot. My youngest brother's going through a lot, and I just know if I go out there and do what I'm supposed to do, that I'll keep them happy, keep them proud. And it won't be anything better but to bring back ODAC championship. Try to go for the big one, national championship, March 15th.
Personally, I'd like to dedicate this season to Daniel Noe. He graduated last year, and he's one of my best friends I've ever had. I love the guy to death, and he really taught me a lot, and I'm very appreciative towards him. And he never got the chance to get the ODAC championship, and I really want to get one for everybody in this room, as well as him.
I'd like to dedicate this season just to my family and mainly my parents, just for them always being there for me throughout these 4 years. There's been plenty of bumps in the road, and I'm just very thankful for them for being by my side, and I'm ready to do this thing, my guys.
I think I'm dedicating this season, I'd probably say to the grade 8. I don't know if we have any of them here today.
Yeah, they're here.
I think that just from my freshman year and coming to see them play when I was a senior in high school, just to see what they started and what we're trying to do, I think I'm dedicating the season to them.
I would say that I would dedicate the season to my father, because my father had to into the military. After he was graduated from high school, he had a chance to play college basketball. And he talks about how he should have that experience, and he kind of looks at all my games and talks to me about things that he would have done, things I can't do. And so if we can have the season we want, it would be great. I just want to dedicate that to him.
Thanks for sharing that, guys. All right, so everybody needs a guy like this on your team. Certainly know we had him. It's somebody who can make you laugh when it's tense, pressure's on, big game. I'm not gonna say who it was. We had a guy run around the locker room a little bit with some Mr. Nose underpants. I'll just leave it at that. Who makes everybody laugh when you need it most?
Wow. I can't speak for everyone else, so I don't give everybody else a chance to speak. I'm gonna say Ian, one of my freshmen in here. Ian is the most subtle person. He's in the background like he's quiet. But when all the rest is going on, Ian will pop in your ear and say one joke that only you can hear. And we'll sit there stupid, dying, laughing. No one know why you're laughing because Ian said something. So I said Ian.
For me, I would probably say Montes, just because when he does talk like to the team, like it's either serious, very serious, or it's either just like hilarious. It's one of the two. So we're thankful for Tease, and we're just happy that he's here with us, and we're gonna get it done this year. Let's do it.
My person is Corey Bays. I think Corey Bays likes to do this thing that he calls humbling people. When they get out of place, he'll call them out, which I just think that that's hilarious. And it cracks us all up.
I actually have two. They happen to be roommates, Maxwell Morrow and Terry Woods. I could be having the worst day ever, and I'll look over and see Max, and he's just grinning, just smiling. All you see, all his teeth. And if Max moves out the way, Terry is right behind him, smiling. And I'm like, what is it? Those are two dudes I know if I got something going on, I just need to look at them and I'll be like.
You guys are way more mature than we were, man. All right, so greatest player to have ever played at Randolph-Macon College.
Yeah, this is a tough one. But there's a reason when you walk inside Crenshaw that when you look up in the rafters, there's no men's basketball jerseys hung. And there's so many good basketball players that have come through Randolph-Macon College and to wear the jersey. And it's really hard to just pick one.
Well said. That's a Macon guy right there. All right, March 15, 2020. You're down 1. Game's on the line. You can't take the shot because you fouled out. Who should take the last shot?
I told him this is sophomore year, may have been his freshman year, late freshman year. I told Corey Bays he was gonna hit a game winner. And he said, if y'all lean on me to hit game winners, we're gonna be in for a bad season. But if we are down 1 and I'm out, we're drawing up a play for Bays coming off of 4 screens. And he will knock it down, and we will win. So I give it to Corey Bays.
I'm gonna also give it to Corey Bays, but that's just because I fouled out.
Anybody else want to take a stab at it?
Ray said it's you.
Come on now.
If I'm fouled out and Corey Bays is, they're all over that guy, then Buzz Anthony. See, easy question. Buzz Anthony.
I was gonna give a much more politically correct answer and say whoever's hot at the time will take the shot. I think our team is pretty deep and talented, so I think varying in the moment will depend on who takes the shot. So that's all I have to say.